That's also, there's another major push to always hire outside of your district, to hire police that are not within that area so that they kind of feel that disconnection, so that they are not familiar with the people they're dealing with, not so much a matter of trying to keep it in the best interest so that they are disconnected from when it goes to court, but so that they don't see us as important, say, as
people,
if they were doing it in their neighborhood.
Right. I agree with that. And let me give you a good example of where that has come to create problems even in my small community. There's a state agency, which is the Highway Patrol, which sends their young recruits who are generally undisciplined right out of the academy up to this area. And recently they made a traffic stop, like they always do. They sit on a bar or they sit on an event, and when someone leaves, they pull them over to see if they can catch them drinking and driving. Well, they pulled over a nice lady here in town who was volunteering at an event because they claimed she didn't make a stop at a stop sign. Well, we all know that's not true, because if you're drunk, you're not going to be able to argue that. But if you're sober, well, guess what? The police are going to be called into light for that traffic stop. Well, she was sober. And when they realized that they couldn't smell alcohol, they still thought she was under the influence. They opened up her trunk and searched, and there were a bunch of wine bottles in there. Well, she was volunteering at a wine-serving event and didn't have anything to drink. They arrested her anyway and assumed that she must be under the influence of drugs because she left this particular event. All of this is very, very wrong. It is completely unacceptable. It's poor policing. It's as bad as it possibly gets. Once they sent her to jail, they kept her in there for 6 hours, and her drug toxicology came back clear too. So guess what? They made a bad arrest. And fortunately in this case, this lady's daughter is an attorney and her husband's an attorney, and they're suing them. And that's what you need to do, because if police are going to act in that way when they know it's wrong, and that's not what they're trained to do, and they're being abusive, then they need to be held accountable, not just civilly, but they need to be charged criminally for an illegal Fourth Amendment seizure. And I feel strongly about those things. And it's why I want people to read my book. By the way, you can get it at Amazon. I should plug that.
Which I actually I had put the link in the chat room just now as well.
Okay, good, because it's so easy to use. If you have contact with the police and you use these cheat sheets to protect yourself, you'll be far better off than if you start arguing. Don't ever argue on the scene with the police officer. If he thinks he's right or she thinks they're right, great, take me to jail and we'll battle it out later when you're wrong. Or if you make a mistake, we'll take care of it.
It looks like it's the half hour, and we also have someone that wants to chime in and maybe ask a question or two. So what we're going to do is we're going to take a quick break. So if you wouldn't mind just hanging on.
You bet.
What we'll do is, and for those that want to know, you can actually download the Kindle for a PC, and you can still get the free version that way if you want to be able to read it and spread the information, just so you know. I know the Kindle, the way they show it, it says it's just for mobile units, but you can still download it and use it for PC, so you can still use it and get a free copy through Amazon. And be sure to spread it. And me personally, I'm always one for, I think you should always get a good hard copy, because you never know what happens, and things can always be altered online. So
you can take a book with you.
Yeah, exactly, and that information will keep there. So be sure to get a copy as well, that way you can actually spread the information as much as possible, but that's just me. So we're going to take a quick break, listen to some commercials, and then we'll come back and we'll talk to some people who want to ask some questions. So, and for anybody else who wants to chime in, the phone number is area code 347-324-3704, and my name's Nikki. We're here with Frank Richardson and his book, Police, The Arresting Truth. And we're trying to, of course, rise above dehumanization. So, Freedomizers, we'll be back shortly after this break.
We all know that the Berkey water purification systems are the most trusted name in water filtration. As an authorized Berkey dealer for over 4 years and serving thousands of satisfied customers, the Berkey Guy offers amazing specials for Berkey water systems. The revolutionary Berkey Light systems include a set of self-sterilizing and re-cleanable black purification elements that purify water by removing chlorine, pathogenic bacteria, cysts, and parasites to non-detectable levels, and removes harmful chemicals such as herbicides and pesticides. Order the Berkey Light system today, complete with 2 black Berkey elements for only $209, and the Berkey Guy will include 3 Sport Berkey Berkey water bottles and ship everything to you free of charge. That's right, 3 Sport Berkey water bottles and free shipping, an $87 value, yours free, but only for a limited time. Just call the Berkey Guy at 1-877-886-3653 now to order. That's 1-877-886-3653, or order online now at GoBerkey.com. That's GoBerkey.com today.
Are you looking for an end-time survival group? Well, Operation 13-9 has over 500 members right now preparing for end-time stuff like martial law and end-time survival. Go and join right now. www.operation13-9.me.com.
Howdy folks, Buford T. Slaughter here. As part of my continuing rehabilitation and in conjunction with my anger management coach and my parole officer, I am required to do community service in the form of public service announcements. The TSA needs you. If you're the kind of guy that doesn't mind looking at naked boys and girls as they walk through the naked body scanners, or if you don't mind pulling an 82-year-old grandma out of a wheelchair, beating the heck out of her, make sure she's not carrying any bomb-making equipment, and if you don't mind taking people that object to this kind of treatment, slapping the heck out of them, pulling them in the back room, and strip-searching them, then the TSA is for you. The TSA is hiring men and women to work at numerous locations around the United States, and the only qualifications are you must have longer than average index fingers, be able to sit and stare at a screen while naked people walk in front of you, and be able to take orders without any questions whatsoever. So, if you're interested in the TSA, please call 1-800-BROWN-SHIRT. 1-800-BROWN-SHIRT. And on a personal note, when the TSA does frisk you as you're going through the airport security, it is an act of love for the U.S. government. It is not an act of rape, so please do not beat them up. Thank you for your time.
Hey, Freedomizers, have you started your food storage yet? Are you dehydrating your own organic fruits and vegetables? Proof Negative here is going to tell you to check out dehydrate2store.com, where Tammy is going to show you how to dehydrate your own fruits and vegetables so that you can have the best food storage possible. Why waste money on inferior products when you could do it yourself? Easy. Check out dehydrate2store.com.
Alright, Freedomizers, it's Nikki back, and let's see, we got Frank back with us, and we're going to bring in our caller from the 209 area code. So who am I talking to?
Hey, Nikki, it's Uncle Buck.
Hey, Uncle Buck, I haven't talked to you in a week. How are you doing this wonderful day?
Oh my goodness. Anyways, hey, I had a question for the guest. I carry around a legal service card that says to officers, and I wanted to know how this gentleman, I haven't had a chance to use it yet, thank God, but how that he think officers would react to my legal services card. It basically says, legal shield, my legal rights are protected. Notice, if your intention is to question, detain, or arrest me, or if you intend to remove my children, just says that, I don't have children, but from my custody, or serve me with a warrant, please allow me to call my attorney immediately. What do you think, how do you think things will go if I ever have to give an officer that at a traffic stop?
Well, you know what? I think that traffic stops are interesting because no one likes to do them in police work unless they're just geared toward traffic. It's unpleasant to write people tickets when you do a lot of the same things that they do, and it just doesn't feel right. But now traffic issues are different, and obviously I'm not an attorney, but I can tell you from a perspective of police work, when you pull over or you're pulled over by an officer on a public roadway, you have to comply with that officer's request at the time. But it doesn't mean that he can interrogate you or interview you. It just means that if the officer says, turn off your car, provide me with your proof of registration and insurance, those things are implied with that traffic stop. The minute he starts questioning you about the contents inside of your car or where you're going, then that card is, that sets them straight. When you tell an officer, I want my attorney present before I answer any questions, then they're done. That's the end of the questioning for them because you are, invoking your Miranda rights at that point. I'm not going to talk to you anymore. And if they continue to persist, that stuff is not going to be allowed in court because you've already told them, I want my attorney present.
Okay. Well, I had never had the opportunity to use it yet, but I'm sure I will.
That's the right way to do it, and I can tell you that I wouldn't be offended if you would have done that to me. However, there are a lot of different characters and individuals out there, and it's really hard to tell how they're reacting. But the key is at that traffic stop, and I actually have a chapter in my book about traffic stops, there's certain behaviors that make the traffic stop go very well. Even if the officer is wrong, and even if the officer is going to do something wrong, you can make your complaint letter, but you have to comply at that time. And if they search your car or they search you without your permission, well, then they're going to have to contend with that later on.
Okay. Well, okay, thank you all very much. I won't take up too much of the time, but on a side note real quick before I hang up, I got to get down to Texas and get a piece of artwork done.
Well, come on down to Texas, and you can come have a fat steak on the grill outside. So
I'll be there. Thank you.
Thank you.
Bye, Uncle Bud.
Calling in.
Well, I have a quick question. So, what happens when you say get a visit at the door? What would be your suggestion if you have people coming to the door to either ask you questions? Do you step outside? Do you let them inside your door? Do you?
I would personally never invite them into my house, and if I don't want to talk to them, I wouldn't go outside. Unless there's an emerging situation where someone's life is in danger, they can't enter your house. And if they come to your door and you don't want to talk to them, you say, do you have a warrant? No, then I don't want to talk to you. I don't want to be rude.
So just yell through the door, just communicate through the door while it's closed?
Absolutely, you could do that. You could open the door halfway. If they kick the door in and they don't have a warrant, then obviously they've entered your house illegally, unless they've seen some type of criminal act occurring behind that they have to address. I always tell people, don't answer the door. There's no reason for you to talk to the police department. It's not in your best interest.
Just because somebody knocks doesn't mean you have to say hello.
That's right. It's like answering the phone. Sometimes I don't answer the phone. It may be a relative I don't want to talk to. I shouldn't say that over the air, but I say, well, I don't have time to talk to them today. I'm not going to answer. The same is true with your door. The courts have continued to rule in favor of the homeowner being the castle where they live, and government cannot intrude into your castle without probable cause. And that's so important because that is probably one of the last stands that we have. And the problem with policing very, very often is it should be an objective investigation, but it's not. It's subjective. And they find someone that they think might have committed the crime, and then they build their case around that person.
It's so like getting a tip and then totally guaranteeing or presuming that the tip is 100% legitimate.
That's right. And you could say something just inadvertently that raises their suspicion, and then the next thing you know, that's in their report, and they're doing further investigations. So why talk to them? There's just no point in talking to the police. I'm sure some of them are nice people. Some of them have been friends of mine. I still have relatives that work in police work. However, as a citizen, I would say don't talk to them. And if you have to talk to them when your attorney's present. That's the best rule of thumb to follow.